Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've never seen anything like this. What's unfolding behind the scenes right now is beyond seismic. It's potentially game-changing at a level that could redefine the NFL landscape. You see, I've been around talent evaluations, NFL draft floors, trade negotiations, and locker room whispers that could shake franchises to their core. But believe me when I tell you, what I'm about to reveal might turn your world upside down. There's a storm brewing that involves a name you know, a player who's reached an elite level of dominance and could, and I mean could, be about to change the entire trajectory of the Green Bay Packers for the next decade. And if this comes to fruition, if everything I've heard and pieced together is correct, you're witnessing the beginning of something historic. But this isn't just a rumor, it's a meticulously crafted puzzle built from whispers, intel, and sources I trust implicitly. And trust me, the implications go far beyond what you're imagining right now. Strap in, because this is going to be the story of the offseason, possibly the story of the year. And there are layers to this that could even shock the most hardened NFL insiders. Now, before I get into the meat of this revelation, I need you to do one thing. Smash that subscribe button, hit like, and ring the bell because what I'm about to lay out. This entire chain of events, only the true insiders are privy to. Regular fans will get snippets, but those who want to understand the real story, the secret plays behind closed doors, need to stay locked in right here. For those who think they've seen everything in the NFL, think again. This offseason, something big is about to explode, and you don't want to miss the full picture. Now, let's take a deeper dive into exactly why the Green Bay Packers, yes, the team that just missed the playoffs, are about to shake the league with an audacious move involving one of the NFL's most disruptive interior defenders. First, let's set the scene. The Packers, under coach Matt LaFleur, finished 9-7-1 in 2025, a season marked by a lot of promise but ultimately ending in heartbreak after that overtime loss to the Bears in the wildcard round. But behind those numbers, behind the headlines, there's an undercurrent of strategic shifts, offensive aspirations, and most importantly, a defensive renaissance that's been quietly brewing since the hire of Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator. Gannon, fresh off the Arizona Cardinals head coaching stint, has been signaling a major shift in how Green Bay intends to rebuild its trenches. They've already made moves, acquiring Micah Parsons last offseason, signing some key free agents on both sides of the ball. But what's truly fascinating is the rumor circulating about a potential blockbuster, one that could rewrite the defensive line landscape of the NFL and put the Packers firmly back in the conversation for championships. And that headline, ladies and gentlemen, revolves around a name you might not initially associate with Green Bay, Dexter Lawrence II. Yes, Dexter Lawrence, the towering, elite interior force from the New York Giants, who just wrapped up his 7th NFL season with a resume so stacked it reads like a Hall of Fame candidate. But why would the Packers, a team that's been seeking defensive consistency and pass rush potency for years, even entertain a trade for someone like Lawrence? The answer lies in what's happening behind the scenes: analytics, scheme fit, and a bold vision from GM Brian Gutekunst, who's known for aggressive moves and willingness to chase championship-level talent. Now, before I go any further, I want you to picture this: a defense anchored by Dexter Lawrence in Green Bay. Imagine Gannon's aggressive, stunting, multi-front schemes integrating a player of Lawrence's caliber. Think about how this would change their entire approach, doubling down on the pass rush, shoring up the run defense, and creating a nightmare scenario for opposing teams. But it's not just about the talent, it's about the mechanics. How could this trade even happen? That's what I'm about to explain. First, let's analyze the current state of the Packers' defense, because understanding their needs reveals why this move might be inevitable. Gannon's philosophy leans heavily into aggressive, versatile fronts, sometimes 5 or 6 linemen, multiple edge rushers, and interior defenders who can collapse pockets from various angles. Their past drafts have shown a desire for speed and flexibility on the line, but the lack of a true dominant interior disruptor has been evident. Sure, Kingsley Enagbare and others have flashed, but no one dominates the middle as Lawrence does. The Packers also struggled against the run, an Achilles heel that reared its head late in the 2025 season, particularly in that overtime game against Chicago in which the Bears ran the ball at will behind a rebuilt offensive line. Now, why Dexter Lawrence? Well, his film is a masterclass in disruptive power and quickness. At 6'4" and 342 pounds, Lawrence moves like a much smaller man, explosive, agile, and relentless. His quick get-off at the snap, combined with elite hand usage, allows him to penetrate gaps or eat double teams, freeing up teammates to make plays. When you watch his film, it's like watching a hybrid of an elite pass rusher and a run-stopping machine. He is, as some scouts have labeled him, the Michael Jordan of nose tackles, a phrase that captures his rare combination of agility, strength, and football IQ. In 2022, he tallied 7.5 sacks, a remarkable number for a player primarily aligned inside. His interior pressure consistently demanded double teams, often freeing up Brian Burns or Kayvon Thibodeaux on the edges. Opposing offenses had to scheme around him, and yet, in 2025, despite some injuries and a team that struggled overall, Lawrence still managed to be a disruptive force. Advanced metrics tell a similar story. His pass rush win rate in 2024 was in the top 10 among interior defenders, and his run-stop percentage was among the highest in the league. His ability to collapse the pocket from the interior is second to none. Yet his 2025 season was a slight dip, just 0.5 sacks, which has some speculating that injuries like his previous dislocated elbow and illness in Week 18 hampered his production. Nonetheless, his tape shows dominance, and scouts still view him as a top-tier talent, an all-pro caliber player who can shift the entire defensive unit. But why now? Well, if you've followed the Giants, you know that their recent struggles, finishing 4-13, signal a roster in flux. They're in a rebuild, and their front office has made it clear they're listening to offers on veteran stars like Lawrence. With the Giants eyeing the 2026 NFL Draft, which they will likely use to rebuild or retool, and with their cap situation tight after a hefty extension in 2023, it's no secret that they're open to moving some chips. Gutekunst, known for pulling off bold moves, think the trade for Micah Parsons last year, has been monitoring the market for interior disruptors. The Packers need an interior difference maker if they're serious about contending not just for a playoff spot, but for a Super Bowl. Here's where the rumor mill kicks into overdrive. Sources close to the team suggest that the Packers are exploring a trade package that could include multiple first-round picks, perhaps a young player or a package of mid-round choices, and importantly, a restructure of Lawrence's final contract year. And let's talk about that. Lawrence is under contract through 2026, with a contract extension signed in 2023 that paid him $90 million over 4 years. His cap hit is around $22.5 million annually, a manageable figure if the Packers can work out a new deal. The Giants, in a rebuild, might see this as the perfect moment to cash in on a player of his caliber, especially if they can secure multiple high picks and perhaps a young developmental player from Green Bay. It's a win-win scenario on the surface. Giant fans could get a rebuild, and the Packers land a franchise-altering talent. Now, how could this trade work? Well, knowing Gutekunst's history, he's not shy about offering future assets. He's already made bold trades for Parsons and others. A realistic proposal might involve sending next year's first and second-round picks, the kind of package that could entice the Giants given the premium status of the player. There's also speculation about including a conditional pick or a veteran player to sweeten the deal. Salary cap-wise, Packers could absorb Lawrence's remaining contract with a modest restructure, pushing some of his money to future years rather than current cap hits, making the deal feasible under their current financial setup. But what about the Giants? Would they consider it? Absolutely. They're in a rebuild, and with a 2026 draft class that's heavy on defensive front talent, acquiring multiple picks helps them restock the cupboard. Plus, Lawrence's age, 28, still makes him a prime candidate to anchor their D-line for the next 5 years if they choose to re-sign him post-trade. This is a critical point. The Giants could see Lawrence as a cornerstone they can acquire now, then re-sign at a friendly rate later, especially with the team's new front office emphasizing youth and future flexibility. The ripple effects are enormous. Think about the competition for Lawrence, who would step up to offer the most. The Eagles, maybe. They've always evaluated interior rushers highly, Or could the Cowboys, or even a surprise team, try to swoop in with a blitzing offer? The NFL is a chessboard right now, and the pieces are shifting fast. If the trade happens, it could set off a chain reaction that forces other teams to reevaluate their interior defensive strategies. As for the fit, what makes Lawrence such a perfect piece for the Packers' puzzle? Well, scheme-wise, Gannon's aggressive fronts are perfectly suited to a player who can penetrate gaps and collapse run lanes while still providing interior pass rush. His ability to move laterally, shed blocks, and generate pressure aligns with the Packers' emphasis on speed and versatility, compared to players like DJ Reader or Chris Jones. Lawrence offers a unique combination of size, quickness, and pass-rushing ability that few interior linemen possess. The impact? Massive. The Packers' defensive identity would shift from a solid but unspectacular unit to one that strikes fear in the hearts of quarterbacks. Imagine an interior duo of Micah Parsons and Dexter Lawrence, two of the most disruptive pass rushers inside and outside, complementing the elite linebacker core and secondary. Opposing offenses would have nightmares preparing for that front. Not only that, Lawrence's presence would open lanes for the linebackers and secondary to make plays, drastically improving team defense. Now, here's where it gets juicier. The entire NFL is watching this carefully. Rumor has it that some league execs are already weighing the consequences. That kind of talent can't stay hidden forever, and when the NFL community gets wind of the potential for a blockbuster trade like this, it will send shockwaves through every front office. The question isn't just if it happens, but when and how. The longer the Giants hold out, the more teams will analyze their options. Could a bidding war erupt? Or will Gutekunst strike early, landing him the game-changer he's been hunting since last offseason? In summary, what we're looking at is a perfect storm. A combination of Giants roster rebuild, Packers, aggressive front office style, and the undeniable hunger for interior disruption that's been absent since the days of both Aaron Donald and Fletcher Cox. Dexter Lawrence II might be the missing piece Green Bay needs to cut through the NFC like a hot knife through butter, and the league will be watching every move leading up to the draft and free agency. But I want to leave you with this. The next few weeks will be critical. Watch for signals, how the Giants handle trade negotiations, whether Lawrence's camp leaks hints of dissatisfaction, and whether Gutekunst quietly makes his move. This isn't just a rumor anymore. This is a chess move that could alter history. And given the stakes, you can bet that something massive is coming. A deal that might define the Packers' decade. A trade that will be remembered as one of the most audacious and impactful in recent NFL history. Stay tuned, because when everything leaks and the dominoes start falling, you'll want to be right here with me, dissecting every moment of the action. Trust me, what's happening right now is only the beginning. The real story is still being written, and I promise you don't want to miss how it all unfolds. This is the kind of NFL offseason that legends are made of. Keep your eyes focused. History is in the making.